Honestly, Dinesh, what complete piffle you're allowing yourself today. Scientists will tell you in advance of what it would take to disprove their belief. A great biologist at JBS Haldane, was his name, was once asked, okay, what would it take for you to stop believing in evolution by natural selection and random mutation? So rabbits' bones in the Precambrian layer would be pretty decisive. We'd have to give up on that if that was so. Einstein said, if my theory works, there will be an eclipse off the west coast of Africa at exactly this time, not exactly an eclipse, a solar event describable in advance off the coast of Africa at this time and place, and it did happen. The theory was not considered scientific until then. Have you heard, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, anything like that from the other side? They say, this is what it would take to make me stop believing in something which I believe to be true without any evidence at all. No. Nor did they have the courage to use the following words: revelation, salvation, the conquest of death. To be religious is to be a theist. To believe in God is to be a deist. Deists don't believe that God intervenes. Theists do. Did you hear any claims of divine intervention from the other side? Did they have the moral courage to say that you can live eternally, perhaps if you only join one church, but a special one, but you can live eternally if you have enough faith? No. Do they believe it themselves? I certainly hope not. Do they allow in any of their presentations, any of their amazing presentations, that they are making extraordinary claims? They're making supernatural and superhuman and divine claims. They're claiming to know God, what God wants of you, what he wants you to eat, who he wants you to sleep with, in what position, on what days of the week you should eat this or that, what animals you should avoid devouring. They claim to know something that we claim is not knowable. Now, which of those claims is the more plausible? And they don't concede that extraordinary claims involve extraordinary evidence, which is why evidence is such a casual thing with them. However, we do have extraordinary evidence that I laid out earlier of how our cosmos originated and how our DNA has been found to be sequenced. And some of these things are lovely to contemplate, and some of them are rather sobering. But none of them require a God. Now, you reflect again on what I said about the death of a sun every second, about the impending collision of the galaxies, about the rapid expansion rate of the Big Bang, and you ask yourself, I can't tell you this isn't happening without a purpose. I certainly don't have enough knowledge to say that, but I can say with reasonable certainty, I don't think all this was undertaken, this vast creative destruction, so that one primate species on one small planet could hear the Pope telling them that AIDS may be bad, but that condoms are worse. I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, what could be more self-flattering, pathetic, and yes, superstitious than that? I'm going to close with a wager. If those of you on the other side of this argument, who've already voted, think that religion makes people behave better, you'll have to answer this question. And I'll be here afterwards. I've asked it many times in public to many religious authorities. You have to name a moral action taken or a moral thought or statement made by a believer that I could not make because I'm an unbeliever. You have to show there's some relationship between morality and faith. You won't be able to do it. Whereas I can tell you, in reply to Rabbi Shmuley's disgusting innuendo, Adolf Hitler's first treaty was with the Pope, and they both stuck to it. Adolf Hitler's birthday was celebrated in every pulpit in Germany every year. Adolf Hitler told the cardinals of Germany he was only doing to them what the church had, to the Jews, what the church had done to the Jews for many centuries, and he was more or less right. And it's disgusting to be told he had Darwinian authority for that. I rest my case. Thank you.